Hey guys, Real Estate Ryan here. We're going to talk about an equity line versus a cash out refinance. And there's a lot of different pros and cons, so I'm not telling you what to do. I am telling you there's different variables. All right, so when you're looking at a cash out or equity line, the number one thing is most of the time you can't get a line of credit on your investment property. So you're going to have to do a cash out refinance. But if you have a primary residence, you can usually get a line of credit there. Now, a line of credit's not necessarily a good thing versus a cash out because it has a variable rate. So the rate can go up and down with interest rates. So if you think interest rates are going to go down and they go up, your payment and cost starts going up versus a cash out has a fixed rate over a period of time. The drawback on the fixed rate across a period of time is that you're going to have upfront interest, all right? So now you're paying more interest than you would on a line of credit. On a line of credit, it's interest only, so you don't have the principal and interest, but the interest is only the interest amount. So you can pay extra amount on it to pay down the balance. So if you had extra 10 grand over here in the bank, you put it on your line of credit, and now you're going to essentially save whatever that interest rate is on your line of credit like you would saving in a savings account. You can't do that on a cash out. If you put 10 grand down, you still have the same monthly payment over and over and over again, right? And so the front end interest on the cash out versus a line of credit. The line of credit you can usually only do on your primary residence, right? And so some people will look at this and they say, hey, I don't know which one I want to do. I want you to look at this, assess both of these options for your property and whatever it is you're going to do. I had a conversation with somebody about this earlier today. I want to tell you this. If you can go draw credit against your properties today, I would do that today. Draw out as much capital as you can because the value is up here and the interest rates are here, all right? If interest rates go up and the values come down, then what's going to happen is your ability to borrow is going to be less, right? So you won't have as much capital to draw against. Now people will say, hey, well, if interest rates go up and values go down, I won't want to be over leveraged. If you have a tenant in that property, I don't think that the rent is going to go down lower. So if you have the maximum amount that you can pull out, then that's usually going to cover you in your debt coverage ratio, right? So if you can have the amount of money that you pull out, have the payment equal to or less than what the amount is that the renter is paying, then you're in a safe spot in most cases. Now, I will tell you, if things change and you can't borrow as much money and you now need that money, you lose your job or anything else changes, all that capital that you would have, you have no longer access to, and all you have is the payment coming in each month. And so it's a different strategy. They're different strategies. I'm not pushing to go get you over leveraged, so don't read too much into that. That's not my point. But what I do want to tell you is just to think about if interest rates go up or home values go down and you have that much cash tied up in a property, when you need it, it will be harder to get than if you get it now and then things become challenging later. You'll have something to live off of or use to then go figure out how you can make more income, right? So that's just a strategy. I wanted to point it out. Somebody asked me that question, especially if a tenant's paying it. Someone said, well, what happens if the tenant doesn't pay? Well, if the tenant doesn't pay, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to cover the payment until it's there. If you do this otherwise, and now you have bills to pay and you don't have rent coming in, you have no money in the bank, and you have no income coming in because the tenant doesn't pay, you're in a actually more vulnerable situation. So there's a trade-off. I've given you a couple different things to think about. Take this, think on it, and then figure out what's the best strategy for you and your family.